Welcome back, everybody. I'm bored. COVID made me bored, and today I am playing Terminator Genisys, Rise of the Resistance. This is published by Riverhorse Games, and I believe it was a Kickstarter at some point. There's a very intriguing and complex history to the production of this game. I think it originally was with another company. I forgot the name of the company, and they really basically were dishonest in the way they were running the Kickstarter. It fell short, and backers never got their money back, I believe. I think on Board Game Geek there's a whole forum regarding the discussion over this particular board game. It was then picked up by another company. I forgot the name of the company. Let me just check here. It was Lynnvander Studios, and they then tried to reboot or redo this Kickstarter, and I think because the first Kickstarter left a sour taste in everyone's mouth, they didn't trust anybody, and unfortunately, while this did come to production, I think it was not through Kickstarter. It was just the game company finding ways to fund it themselves. I'm not 100% sure on the details of that, but it was a very interesting read, and unfortunate for the original Kickstarter. For those backers, I sympathize when you think something like is going to come through, and then you end up having a company just really backstab you and take your money as well, and then basically MIA for the rest of the time. So for me, when I came across this, I'm a big fan of Terminator. Well, Terminator 2 at least. 1 and 2 I watched. I got up to 3, Rise of the Machines, and that's pretty much when I stopped watching it. And I know that this movie in particular, I don't know the full story behind it, but I do know that there is a portion of people out there that especially true Terminator fans, that did not like the movie. But that's okay. This game, despite the bad movie that it might be based on, it plays great. And I actually think this is a really fun and unique sort of dungeon crawl experience with a Terminator theme. And basically it's either John Connor and obviously Arnold. You can see they're depicting their character faces right on the box, and you are leading the Resistance through multiple missions linked together as a campaign to bring down Skynet's ultimate weapon or ultimate plans. So just like the movies, it's very thematic. And the game it's a fully cooperative game for 1 to 4 players, and I believe this is set in the year 2029, not too far away, and you are a team of 4 of the Resistance soldiers led by John Connor to hopefully stop Skynet from completing their nefarious plans. So I'm playing Mission 1, and I'm not going to go through all the rules again. This is more of a playthrough, and I try to explain the rules as I go through. I think this particular game has a unique element where you are rolling dice. Each player has a color code of dice. You roll them, and you assign your dice to certain actions. And I think what's interesting about that is, depending on the value, there's no such thing in this game. There's no such thing as a bad roll, because every single dice roll that you have, you can use. The difference is the value of that dice roll could either give you an advantage or no advantage. And I think that's what's really interesting. And I'll show you sort of an example player board. I'm playing with the Terminator, the Guardian, as they call him, and John Connor. And without getting to the whole storyline of Terminator Genisys, let's just assume, again, this isn't about spoilers or anything like that, but let's just go with who they are and their ultimate goal, which is to bring down Skynet. So here's another character from the movie, Alex, and you'll see that he's got several pieces of information on his board. He has slots where he can assign dice. He has maybe a special ability, and he has a hit counter, which is up to 3. You take 3. If you take 1 more, then you're down. In this game, you don't die. You basically are sort of downed, and you can still participate in the game until, with limited possibilities, with limited options, until a fellow teammate can come and heal you or revive you. Very similar to the way Gears of War works too. So I like that. I like that there's no player elimination, because it really does suck if early in the game you get knocked out and then you're basically watching your buddies enjoy the game while you sit there on the sidelines. You also have slots for weapons and equipment that you start with a basic set of weapons, and throughout the game you can locate supply crates and potentially gain more equipment and more powerful weapons. So what's interesting about this is you'll see that, for example, with the move. So if I rolled my dice, and let's just say I rolled here, you see I have 5, 2, a 1, and a 2. So here let's just say I'm in a position where I need to get somewhere. I'm trying to get to an objective. Obviously, the dice rolls that I have, the higher the better, because I want to move further. In this situation, each slot here is a move slot, and whatever the value of the die is how many spots or how many hexes that you can move. So obviously I would want to assign my 5, but if I really needed to get to a spot, 12 movement away, I really can only get halfway there. So I think that's really interesting, because you could be in a position where on your upcoming turn, you want to do something. But depending on your dice roll, you might have to change that plan. So if you want to dart for an escape route, but you end up rolling 1s and 2s, then you might change your game plan, and you might say, look, I'm just going to have to maybe hold the fort, stand the line, and just take out a few enemies if you can. Another interesting aspect are the weapon cards that you can get. So this is an example of John's weapon card here. It's a plasma assault rifle. You'll see that it has an attack of 3 dice, and you have attack dice here, which again I'll explain as you go through. And you have a range of the weapon, and you'll have 2 slots where you can assign dice for using this weapon. Now, you'll see that at the bottom here, it gives you this option. If you assign a dice value of 5 or 6, you may re-roll 1 result. So this is where, if I roll my dice, oh, beautiful, I do have a 6. But let's just say I didn't roll a 6, I had a 3. So it's not like I can't use my weapon. I can still use my weapon. I can still assign this dice value and make an attack. The only difference is I don't get that bonus of the re-rolling 1 result. And other weapons have different abilities. So for example, the Guardian's weapon is, if you assign a dice value of 6, you ignore 1 Terminator result, which basically means, I'll explain what this means when you roll a Terminator result. So that's an example of where there's no bad roll, but there definitely is rolls that play to your advantage if you get the right values. And it can definitely change your tactic depending on the rolls that you do. So in terms of the attack dice, you're rolling for attacks. As the character, or as your player, when you roll, the white hit marks are values that are successful hits, and for the machines or the Endos that you're fighting against, when you roll the Terminator symbol, they typically have some kind of reaction ability that takes place. So it could be dodging, or it could be advancement, or something, or a counterattack that they do. So definitely when you are attacking as a player, you don't want to roll this or try to mitigate as best as you can. When the Endos are attacking you, when it's their turn to attack, when they're rolling, you'll be rolling a certain number of dice, and their success hits are the Terminator faces. So I think it's on the dice it's 2. So you have a 1 out of 3 chance of getting hit by the machines. And here you'll see is an example of an enemy card. This is the HK drone. So they have a defense value. This is the defense value that, in terms of the number of hits you must hit, you must either meet it or exceed it to destroy the drone. Anything less than that does nothing. So when it comes to keeping track of damage, you don't have to keep track of damage of any of the enemies here, which is really nice. One of the things I did a last video on, which was Gears of War, the board game, I enjoyed the fact that it streamlined the way you track wounds as opposed to each hit, unlike Doom, the board game that I have. But this game, very streamlined with the enemies. You either kill them or you don't. There's no in between. There's no damage you have to keep track of. There's no wounds that you have to keep track of. If you don't get that minimal defense value on your hits, they basically brush it off and get up. And I feel like that's, you know, very Terminator thematic in that sense, where sometimes they just brush off the hits and they just keep advancing. You've got the number of dice they roll for their attack. You've got their movement points at the top right, and the bottom right you have their range in terms of their attack value. And then this is where they would have some kind of special ability during either an attack or during the defense. If they roll the Terminator symbol, then this particular ability takes place. And in this case, when you are attacking the drone and you so happen to roll a Terminator, it will avoid one of your hit values. Okay, so this is the very first mission, and I'm using, like I said, Guardian and John Connor. They have their base traits. They also are given what's called a rank token. You start with one rank token, and as you progress through the campaign, you have the ability to earn additional ones. This is your tool to re-roll bad rolls. So every time if you roll and you want to do a re-roll of all your dice, or any dice actually rolls, attack dice, your action dice, or reinforcement rolls, and I'll explain that later, or even enemy attack rolls, any rolls you can discard or use one of your rank tokens to re-roll those results. So definitely valuable, but also very scarce. And you also have, at least for the first mission, you have a set of equipment that if you come across a supply crate, you'll be able to draw from, as well as possibly weapon cards that you can also gain. And you have a limited number of slots for your character. You can either carry 2 weapons and 1 equipment, or 1 weapon and 2 equipments. And throughout the game, you do have to pick and choose what do you want to equip yourself with. I'm playing a 2-player game. I think this game would play very well with up to 4. I think it would scale very well. When it comes to enemies, during the mission setup, you do have what's called an enemy pool, and depending on the color that you choose, and I think the distribution is equal, it's just the order is different depending on which color. I don't know how much of an impact that has, but later missions do have more powerful enemies, so that could make a difference. Anyways, I've chosen red and blue, and you'll see that this is the distribution pattern. So during the player's turn, there will be what's called a reinforcement step, where you are rolling for reinforcements, and that is where there's the potential for enemies to spawn. Depending on your color, if an enemy is to spawn, you will choose the number of enemies to be spawned from your pool, which, say for example, for the Guardian, he's red, so he will pull from this pool. As you defeat those enemies of that color, they go in the back of the queue, and that's how the pool replenishes. So you will need to be mindful of the cycle in terms of who you're killing and where they end up in the back of the pool, and just trying to make sure that you have you're keeping track of who's next in line. Does it really matter? I don't know. When I play, I follow the rules, and it seems to flow well. I think it's to provide some variability and randomness in the number of enemies that show up. And if you run out, if all your enemies are on the board, and it's time to spawn, and you don't have any more, then no more will spawn out. So maybe there is some advantage to keeping them all on the board, but they move in fast and they move in hard, and it could be quite overwhelming. So I'm doing mission 1, which is gathering supplies, and I'm just going to pull back this board here. Nice, actually quite a very cool cover shot of that. And right now I have the board set up for this first mission. You'll see that I think one of the things I would comment on is it does take quite a bit of time to set up the boards. You have to find the right tiles, put the tiles together. I think there were some comments online regarding the tiles being a little warped. It's no worse than other board games I have, but they are a bit more, they don't sit flush 100%. It's not a deal breaker for me, but I think for the price point, I think they could have had a bit firmer tiles. And also in terms of the enemies, which I have off on the side, they all have the color bases that you would put on them. That is also time consuming. Finding the weapon cards and sort of creating that pile, getting all the tokens out, and every single one of these pieces are tokens, lying them out according to the map setup. That takes time. I'd say this is more involved than some of the other board games I have. I think for me, I think probably Doom is one of the more intense setups. This is, I think, actually a little bit worse than that. So, but once you get it set up, that's it. Your board is ready. You'll see that I have various placements of obstacles, and you'll notice that they have a yellow outline. It doesn't block line of sight when it comes to drawing line of sight, but it definitely provides some kind of cover for you, or potentially the enemy as well. It takes 2 movement points to move into an obstacle, but it provides the amount of, or it absorbs the amount of hits of the value that's here. So if I was standing in this pile of rubble and an enemy hit me, if you got 2 successful hits, one of those hits would be absorbed by this and destroyed. So I'm not even sure where I put this. It's right here. And you'll have ones that are a value of 2. So if you're in this space, it will absorb 2 hits, and it has a flip side, which is a door, which is actually one right up there. Doors require you to open them, and they have a reference card. It's a blast door, and you'll see here, in order to do that, you need to interact with it, and you need to roll a 6. So you need to assign a 6 value in your interact slot of your player board, right there, in order to open, and you need to be adjacent to the door, and then it'll open. So you can imagine that, let's say on your 1 turn, you need that 6, and you don't roll it, can't open the door. Does it mean it's a bad roll? Well, it's the unfortunate roll, but you can still use your dice for other things, especially if you're trying to fend off attacks. So I'm going to, let's see, have I gone through everything? You also have a vehicle, which you can enter. I think the goal of this game is to get back into the vehicle, find the supply crates and the vehicles, and you'll also have these markers, which are waypoints. I'm not going to flip them over. They basically have A, B, C, D, E through, I guess, A to H, I think. But in this situation, we're only going up to E. And you will flip them over, randomize them, and place them in the proper zones. And what's interesting is each time you play this particular mission, it could potentially change because you don't know where those waypoints are. And those waypoints have different effects or different conditions that happen as you enter a zone. And in terms of zones, they are outlined by the blue highlights. As you enter the zone containing a waypoint, you immediately flip the waypoint, reference the mission book, and read the campaign information. I like the story behind the campaign. I like that there's a narrative. It feels it's very thematic, and it feels like it gets you immersed in this game. One other comment I want to make about these miniatures. These miniatures are cheap. The detail is okay for what they are, but for the price point of this game, I actually think these are incredible, and they're very flimsy. They're very cheap plastic, and they do the job. I mean, they're miniatures, but after all, but nothing I would rave about. I think Doom and Gears of War, those miniatures, oh, so awesome. These ones they don't hold a candle to those ones. So that's unfortunate. And also, in terms of time consumption, putting these bases on, while they are flexible and they do go on relatively easy, you do have to put them on each enemy and then create your lineup. These are definitely easier than the other game I have, Street Masters, where they're hard plastic and it takes forever to put them on. I really hate that setup. I would say it's just as frustrating as setting this one up. Okay, so let me go ahead and start mission 1. We are gathering supplies, and the narrative in the mission book goes as follows. It all comes down to the next few hours. John Connor fixed each of us with his dark brown eyes, making sure we all took his words to heart. Everything we fought for, bled for, and died for is on the line. Everyone who gave whatever they could, including themselves. Now it's time to make sure those sacrifices weren't in vain. It all comes down to the Colorado team and us. And then, just as quick, he grinned. No pressure, huh? That's John. Fearless, determined leader one moment, yet somehow able to set his soldiers at ease the next. The three of us smiled back. Kyle's grin faded as quickly as it appeared. The Guardian, the first reprogrammed T-800 we took from Skynet, smiled too. A creepy grin stretching across his face like death's hand. Damn thing gave me the creeps. It always had. The mood lightened in the back of the jouncing cargo truck, but only for a little. For John was right. The next few hours would determine whether the Resistance lives and Skynet dies. After Judgment Day, the remains of humanity were left scratching out a bare existence in the steel, mud, and bones of the nuked world. We almost didn't make it until John rose up and brought us with him. He showed us that it wasn't over, that as long as even one of us still drew breath, we could fight the machines. That's exactly what we've done for I don't know how many years. And John has been there at every step along the way. It's not that we would follow him into hell, we're already living there, but it's his unstoppable spirit has often been the reason we still fight today. And now we're on the brink of doing what many thought was impossible. The Resistance was on a mission to stamp out Skynet once and for all. That's not our mission, however. Today, John is leading us somewhere else, a remote work camp where the machines take captured humans to work until they die. There's something important about that camp. John knows what it is, but he kept it to himself. It must be something big, though, to take us all the way out to the nuke hot desert instead of backing up the Colorado team. But first, we're making a stop along the way. Unlike the machines, unlike the T-800 riding with us, humans need food and weapons. We need clothes and we need shelter. The Endos can come at us all day and all night, 24/7. We need supplies to live. We need supplies to fight. Scavenging is the second thing people learn out here. Killing the machines is the first. The truck stops at what looks like the remains of a military base. Gunmetal gray steel bunkers, pitted and scoured from decades of harsh weather, rise from the ground. Sand dunes taller than me are piled up near the main entrance. John sent the Guardian to scout ahead. With the shriek of protesting metal, a blast door was wrenched open. Weapons at the ready, we cautiously entered. So the objective of this mission is to pick up all 3 supplies. And the supplies out of the 5 waypoints is hidden somewhere in there. And it is our job to locate them. And then once we collect those supplies, it is our job to get back into this truck because that's our extraction point. So we're going to go ahead, and what's nice about this game is you can decide who goes first. There will be a decision phase, in which case you will determine who wants to go first, and we'll go ahead and we'll start with John. Okay, so with John, we're going to take his dice, and we're going to give it a roll. Unfortunately, I don't have enough room for the dice rolls here, so I'm going to go ahead and show you what I got. And we got, let's see here, 4, 5, 6. So we have the starting zone on this side, and we'll go ahead and we're going to assign the movement value of 6. When you are assigning dice, you sort of assign 1 dice at a time and resolve the action at that point, rather than assign all of them and then do your actions. I think it just keeps the flow of the game. So we're going to move 6. We definitely want to try to get to the waypoints here. So we'll try to start going onto the waypoints on this side. Let me make sure I have my waypoints in the correct location, and they are. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we'll assign a 4 die to move into cover here. Actually, you know what? I think we'll move here. We'll move, sorry. I take that back. I move 2, and I'm going to move here. So this symbol here is actually not only a obstacle, but it is actually a supply crate, because you can see that you can interact with it. When you interact with a supply crate, you've got this card right here. You interact using a 4, 5, or 6 die face, and you remove the supply crate token from the map, draw 2 equipment cards, and then immediately give them to any characters in your zone, including yourself. And then you discard the excess cards. So I'm going to assign this 4 to my interact. And I take the supply crate. I draw 2 equipment cards, 1, 2. And I get a plasma canister and explosive rounds. And I think I will take the plasma canister. And I do have an extra equipment slot, so I will put that in there and discard the other card. And I have a 4 movement left, or sorry, not 4, a 4 dice face left, which I really can't do anything at this point, so that goes unused. Actually, you know what? No. John actually has a special ability. You can put it in his special, and other characters in your zone can borrow this dice. So I think, well, that won't make any sense right now. on their turn to perform an action. So they don't roll it, they would just take it. I don't think I need that. So I'll leave it here, but I don't think I'll be using it. Okay, so now it is the Guardian's turn. And we have some pretty good results here. So we'll assign the 5 to move him 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll assign another 5 to move him into cover. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we'll put him right here, and that's it. His other 2 dice, unusable at this point. Sorry, I actually missed a step here. So let me go back. I don't know why I didn't. I've been playing this quite often enough that I should know. So we'll keep the roll, but I forgot to do the roll for reinforcements. Reinforcement roll is when you roll for the enemies to spawn. And I forgot to note this. You'll notice that I've got these sort of spawn markers, 3 of them on each side during mission setup. If during your roll for reinforcements, you roll this particular dice face, they will show up at those entrance spawn points. So we're going to go ahead and roll. I get a 5 and a 6. In this mission, you roll 2 dice for reinforcement rolls. So I have 1, 3, and 5. Therefore, only 1 will spawn from this location. So from John, sorry, this is John. So for John, John is the color blue. So from my blue pool, I will be pulling out a T800 and putting him here. And then in terms of the phase, the enemy phase, they activate. So he'll move 4, because that's his movement. 1, 2, 3, 4. And he is moving towards the closest resistant soldier, or the closest player. If there's any bosses on the board, they would also activate as well. And then that's the end of John's turn. Okay, so the next up would have been the Guardian. I already did his roll, so I'm not going to re-roll that. I'm going to assign a movement of 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the other 5, which was I was originally going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, because it takes 2 movement points to go in there. I still have 2 results left. This guy is well out of range, and when it comes to determining line of sight, you are looking at any point of your hex, any corner of it or any side of it, to the enemy or target site. So here, I don't know how well you can see that. Can you see that? Yeah. So here, from his point here, I'd be cutting through the black wall, which blocks line of sight. So no go there. And he's out of range anyways, so it's not like I could shoot him. Okay, so that ends the Guardian's turn. And normally you would take you have a ready marker where you would flip over to say you're done, and that's just to keep track of who's already gone. So now it would be the reinforcement roll for the Guardian, and we get a 2 and a 3. So out of the red pool for the Guardian, the 3 location would be here, and move 1, 2, 3, 4, and it doesn't attack because there's no one in range to attack, and that's it. So that would end the round. We would reclaim all our action dice, and we would prep our characters, say that they're ready, and then the next round begins. And this is where, again, you would decide who should go. In this situation, I think we'll have John go, because John can probably make it in here. And on his activation, this Terminator will be moving forward. This one won't move, so it'll be okay. So he might be able to take a shot. He has a range of 6 on his weapon. So we'll go with John first, and we'll go ahead and roll that. Okay, so he did pretty good here. So let's move 3 spots. So he's going to move 3. 1, 2, and 3. Now I have just entered a new zone, which is the blue separation here. So that means I triggered this waypoint. We'll flip it over and see what waypoint it is. It is Waypoint Charlie. And in the mission rulebook, you would read the continuation of your mission story. Incredibly, we found a room on a sub-level 3 that still had power, drawing on nuclear generators far below the surface. There we found charged plasma weapon packs and sealed field drums we could use for the truck. It wasn't a crate of T rations, but it would definitely get us closer to achieving our mission. As we began lugging the supplies outside. The whine of an approaching HK-8 drone made all of us duck for cover. It had located us, the T-800 said after it was gone. Reinforcements will be here soon. This waypoint token represents supplies to be gathered. Flip the enemy entrance Charlie over to its heavy side. So this is a supply. This is one of our objectives, and I will place this on John's board so that I know he has collected it. And it says flip the enemy entrance Charlie to the heavy side. Charlie is, I believe, this one. So these enemy entrance spawn points have two sides. This is the light side, and this is the heavy side. Obviously, it doubles, has another additional roll face or die face that can spawn enemy points. So that is to increase the difficulty and the number of spawns. So John has successfully moved in. Oh, sorry. I was not correct there. He has to go beside that and pick that up. Sorry about that. One of the special rules in this rulebook is when you gather supplies, you need to be adjacent to the waypoint that is the supply and interact it using a 4, 5, or 6 roll to place the waypoint token on your character board. So then you're carrying it. Sorry, I missed that one. So I do have that. So I'm going to go ahead and move 2. I'll move 1. And I'll keep myself here, and I'm going to assign the 5 in my interact to pick up this supply crate. So now I have it. And my last die face, which is a 6, I'm going to assign it to my plasma assault rifle. And because I'm assigning this value of 6, I get to re-roll one result if I need to. And I will be rolling 3 attack dice. And oh my goodness, terrible. So I rolled 3 3 Terminator faces. I can re-roll one of them, which really isn't going to matter. I get 1 hit. The T-800, his defense is 3, so I didn't even scratch him. But because I rolled at least one of these Terminator faces, he will move 1 hex closer, and if he's adjacent, the character would suffer 1 wound. So he moves 1 hex closer, but fortunately, he does not issue any damage to me, but I did not kill him, so that's unfortunate. So that I would consider an unfortunate roll. Now, if I want to, I could use my rank token and use it to re-roll that. And I think it's too early in the game to do that, so I'm just going to leave it as is. So now we're rolling for reinforcements. And, oh, lucky me, we get a 3 and a 6. So we only have a 3, so we'll take from John's pool and start there. And now we would activate it. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then this moves 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. Because it's a drone, it flies over. It doesn't require 2 movement points. 5, 6, 7. And it gets within range because it's a range of 2. And this one is in a range of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it goes towards Arnold. And he definitely has line of sight. And clearly this one has line of sight as well. So there will be 2 attacks here. We'll start with the drone. So he's going to attack with 2, and he's attacking John with 2. And I rolled these. Now remember, when enemies are attacking, their successful hits are only if you roll the Terminator face. So John dodged it. And for the T-800 firing on the other T-800, it'll be, so 2 hits, unfortunately. So we'll take our damage markers and we'll put in 2 hits on the Terminator, and that ends John's turn. So now we will move on to the Guardian's turn and roll his action dice. And that's a terrible roll, but you know what? It is what it is. So we've got, let's see. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use this result to rest. When you rest, you get to heal 1 wound. So I'm going to remove that. I'm going to use, let's see, it's a range of 4. Oh, you know what? Sorry. Let's go backwards. I was mistaken. I'm sitting in terrain, which absorbs 2 hits, and that last attack was 2. So this actually gets destroyed. So Arnold, or the Guardian, is actually okay. So I actually don't have 2 hits. So I totally missed that one. So now I don't need to rest, so that's okay. So what I'm going to do instead, since I think I want to go stay by John's side, maybe try to help him out. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to move 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to assign this dice to do, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I'm going to attack that T800, line of sight. So I will do this one to attack. Now I'm assigning a dice value of 3, so I don't get any special bonuses. I am rolling for 4 because it's a 4 dice shotgun with a range of 4. And oh, beautiful. I get all hits. The drone only has a defense value. Sorry, not the drone. The T800 has a defense value of 3, so he is out. And I put him in the back of the queue in the enemy pool. And I can still do another attack if I want to, and I think I will. So what I'll do is I'm going to move 1 spot with my 1 dice to move here. And then I'm going to use the 2 for his special, which is attack up to 2 adjacent enemies, and you roll 3 attack dice and apply the results to both. So there's only 1, but I'll roll the 3 attack dice. And okay, so I roll the Terminator face with 3 hits. And the fist does nothing for me. Usually when you roll this particular die face on the attack, the fist provides some special bonus depending on your character card. Now, if Arnold or if the Guardian was defending and I rolled this, I would ignore one of the Terminator faces on the attacker's roll. So this doesn't really do anything. But for the Terminator face on the HK drone, he will dodge 1 of these hits, and he only takes 2, but he only has a defense of 2, so he gets destroyed as well. So I lucked out on that one. And that ends, sorry, I should flip these over. That ends the Guardian's turn, and now we will roll for reinforcements. And we roll a 5 and a 6. So the 5 would be here, and there is no 6. So that ends the round, and we would now collect our action dice, ready to start a new round. So I think now during the decision phase, we are going to have, let's have the Guardian move in. So let's go with the Guardian. Let's have him move in first. Oh, sorry, I forgot. I have to move this 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's it, because the enemies activate. Right. Okay, I missed that from the last reinforcement roll. Okay, so we're going to roll for the Guardian. He's going to go first. So we have a few options here. So let's move in 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The moment we move in, we open and reveal the waypoint. It is Waypoint Bravo. We had just gained entrance to what the faded and crumbling map said was a cafeteria, whatever that was. Dusty, broken tables and chairs were scattered across the room, with dark stains in several places on the floor. Looked like someone had tried to hold out here and lost. While clearing it, we heard a familiar noise, the steady plodding steps of titanium feet. As we scrambled for cover, red eyes glowed in the nearby darkness. The machines had found us. Okay, replace the waypoint token with the next 2 enemies of your color, which would be red, in the enemy pool. One must be placed in the same hex as the waypoint, the other must be adjacent to it. So the next 2 in the pool are 2 drones. Lucky me. They don't activate, but they are there, and they will activate during the enemy activation. So I've moved in, and it's not a supply crate, so what do I want to do? I think I want to... Let's try this. We're going to assign 1 die. We're going to go in. Sorry, I should flip these over because we are ready. I'm going to move in 1 spot. And then I'm going to assign the 2 to attack 2 adjacent enemies and roll 3 attack dice. So I have 2 adjacent enemies. I'm rolling. All right, so we apply the results to both. So in this case, because I rolled the Terminator face, it does dodge 1, but it still takes 3 hits, so it would die. And the same with the other drone, because you're applying the same results. So beautiful Guardian, he just wiped out those 2 threats. And that leaves me with this 5, which if I was actually close to the supply crate, I could probably use that, but that's okay. So I'm going to just not use that dice. I'll put it off to the side. And we are now going to roll for reinforcements. We get a 6 and a 4. So the 4 is right here, unfortunate, and there is no 6. So we'll move this guy in, 1, 2, 3. We'll move him here. He's not going to move any closer. This T800 is already within range, and he will be attacking, with 3 dice. And let's see. Okay, so here's a great example. So I rolled the fist hit and a hit and the Terminator face. So for the Guardian, his special ability is when defending, if you roll this symbol, you get to ignore 1 Terminator face. So he takes no hits. Beautiful. That's what I needed. Now it's John's turn. And, oh, we rolled a really nice roll here. 2 6s, a 2, and a 5. I think we're going to make our way over to that waypoint. I think that'll be enough. We'll move 6. Sorry, I'll flip this over. We'll move 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we reveal the waypoint, which is D. Spotting a room labeled Armory, we made a quick detour, hoping it still might contain a cache of weapons. We were partly right. Inside was a half-dozen crates of MK2s, tough plasma rifles that could melt the Endos face clean off. We all swapped our battered guns for new ones, the faint whine of the activated power packs music to our ears. Kyle was especially pleased at finding a pristine new weapon. I don't think I'd ever seen him smile like that before. Discard this waypoint token and draw a weapon card. Okay. So from our weapon pile, we draw a card. Oh, yay, look, it's a pistol. Lucky me. So because that's John, he can choose to swap one of his items out. He has the plasma canister and the med kit. And I think at this point, we will we'll take out the med kit and we'll put in our pistol. I mean, it's a pistol. We could use some extra firing power. Okay, and that's it. We still have 2 more movements, or sorry, we still have 3 actions left. So I'm going to go ahead and let me try to help out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we can do that. Okay, I move 2. 1, 2. And I'm assigning this dice face to the plasma assault rifle, which is a range of 6. Characters do not block line of sight, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, perfect. And I'm going to attack with 3 dice, and it was an abysmal failure. So because I rolled the Terminator face, it moves forward 1, and it does the Guardian 1 damage. I'm going to try that again. I'm going to assign... Oh, actually, you know what? Sorry. I'm going to re-roll 1 dice face. Sorry. Okay, so let me redo that one before he moved forward. Sorry, I'm missing these little small... So he's still going to move forward, but John... okay, so when John is attacking, you ignore 1 of the Terminator faces. So I ignore this Terminator face. I do 2 hits, but unfortunately, the T800 needs 3 or more. So nothing happens here. He doesn't move forward, Guardian doesn't take damage, and John didn't do anything, unfortunately. So we're going to try one more time. Assign this for 3. Okay, so you may re-roll 1 result. Okay, so even worse, and now it happens. So that's going to move forward, and Guardian takes a hit. Well, that was unfortunate. Now we roll for reinforcements. We get a 2 and a 4. So out of the blue pool, the 2, there is no 2, but there is a 4. We'll put it right here. And now the blue Endos will activate 1, 2, 3, 4. He's already within range of the Guardians, so he's going to go ahead and shoot. 3 dice. Oh, beautiful. All misses. So the Guardian survived, and he also rolled that one, which means he would have dodged one of the hits. Okay, beautiful. So that ends the round. We collect our dice off the boards, and we go back to the decision phase. So I think right now we are going to try to, I think we'll start with the Guardian. Maybe he can do some quick work out of these guys. All right, we'll start with the Guardian. I'm going to start with the Guardian, and not bad. So what we'll do is we're going to move 2, or at least 1. We'll move here. We're going to assign this dice. No, this dice. This dice? Let's assign this dice to roll 3 and attack 2 adjacent guys. Hopefully a good roll. Oh, God, no. Okay, so this is really bad. So because they each rolled the Terminator, that means they don't advance forward because they're right there. And the adjacent character suffers 1 wound, so he actually takes 2. Wow, that was not a good move. That was not what I was expecting. And now what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we're going to go ahead and take our shotgun and shoot at least the red one. 4 dice. Okay, so he gets killed before he can activate his ability, so we'll go with this one and take him out. And then I have this one left, which I can't do anything, so I will rest and heal 1 wound. Okay, roll for reinforcements. We get a 5 and a 4. Lucky me. So 4 and 5. Then they activate. This drone is already within range. It'll fire for 2. And the Guardian takes 1. So you'll notice that the Guardian does have all 3 of his slots filled, but it's the 4th shot, or the 4th hit on him that he can't defend, which will knock him down. Okay, it's John's turn. Oh, this was a terrible roll. This was a terrible roll, and I think I want to pull my rank token and re-roll that, because that's just really bad. No, you know what? I'll live with it. Okay, so I'm going to fire my weapon. I'm aiming for the blue drone. So now, because I rolled the Terminator symbol, he actually knocks the Guardian down. So the Guardian is down. Oh, this is going to be quick work. I'm going to go ahead and do another shot with my 1. Okay, and I will hopefully take that one out this time. Sorry, I should only roll 3. I should take that roll. Oh. Okay, again. Terrible. Advance forward. And that's it. So this is where I'm going to discard his plasma canister. On your turn, discard this card to remove all the action dice from one weapon and re-roll them. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to take this, re-roll, and now I can reassign these. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use my pistol with an attack range of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, that's good. I roll 2 dice. This is not going to go very well. And after attacking, make a free attack using this dice value with another equipped weapon, which is nice. Ah, beautiful. I rolled all 3, so this one is dead. Now I get to make another attack using that value with another equipped weapon. So now I can roll to shoot the drone, and I can ignore 1 result. It dodges 1, so it completely failed that one. I will assign this dice to my plasma assault rifle again, and it dodges 1 but takes 2, so it is out as well. All right, so I still have 2 options left. I want to move in 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm beside him. I'm going to go rest to revive or help up the Guardian. And I remove 1 wound from him when I do that. Okay, so now we roll for reinforcements. Did I move this guy? I don't remember. Because he's all the way at the starting. 1, 2, 3, 4. So he should have been there. And this one, 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know why I'm forgetting to do those ones. Okay, roll for reinforcement. A 6 and a 4. There's the 4. And there's no 6. So he's going to move 1, 2, 3, 4. This one's going to attack. He can attack John. And he gets 1 hit on John. Okay, and that ends the round. We'll collect our dice. We are ready for the next round. All right, so on to the next round. And I think we're going to start with the Guardian one more time. Even though he has not been rolling very well. So let's start with the Guardian. We'll take his action dice and roll it. It's not too bad. And let's see here. Let's start with maybe helping John out. Or should we go and grab a supply crate? Let's do the supply crate. Because we can. Oops, this was a 2. So we're going to move 2. 1, 2. We really should be trying to head on over there. I think we're going to try to get through this door to go across, because I think that's the only way we can do it. We'll use our 6 to interact, in which case we pull the supply crate token out, we draw 2 equipment cards, and we get an immediate search of a weapon, which is great. We get to draw a card from the weapon deck. Ooh, we get the sniper rifle and the med kit. I'm taking the sniper rifle. Don't care for the med kit. And that's it. Okay, so I still have this left, in which case I will let's go with a shot. Let's go with a shot. 4 on that drone. And it dodges 1, but I get 3. So that means it's dead. Back of the queue. And I have 1 dice left, which I will use to rest. So far as you can see with the gameplay, you can always use your action dice. You can always do something. You're never stuck without having to, oh God, I got all 1s or all 2s and can't use them. No, you can. It's just may not be as optimal as you want it to be. Ideally, if I had more, higher values, I could make a run for the door, open the door, and at least get out of there. But I don't want to leave John behind. So that completes that part, and now it is the reinforcement phase, and we rolled a 1 and a 2, and that means the 1 is up here, and there is no 2. So these guys would activate. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and this moves 8. Oh, there's a door here, so he doesn't know it, so it's going to go around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so we survived a little bit of that. No one's in range. We're good, and now it's John's turn. Let's roll his action dice. Okay, this is a pretty good roll. So John's going to make a break for that door. Now, here's the thing. I need that 6 to open the door. According to the rules, I believe. Sorry, yep, the blast door. You need to roll a 6, interact with a face value of 6 to open the blast door and remove it from the map. So we'll assign a 4 movement. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll assign, we might be able to do it. A 3 movement. 1, 2, 3. We're right beside the door. Perfect. And we interact to open this door. So the door is now open. No waypoints in here. Nothing revealed. So we're okay. And fortunately, we should be okay. The Guardian might be in a little bit of trouble, but that's all right. So we have one more result, which I'm going to rest to heal one wound. Okay, and now we roll for reinforcements on John's turn. Sorry. There we go. It's a 1 and a 4. Of course. It's a 1 and a 4. Lucky me. Okay. So with the Terminator at the top there, he does have line of sight already. I mean, he can move into position, but he already has line of sight, and clearly the drone has line of sight of the Guardian. So we'll start with the drone. He's going to roll 2 to attack, and oh, good. The Guardian has a special. He ignores one of these results, so he doesn't take anything. And the Terminator is going to attack John. Oh, this is not good. And John is taking 2 hits. So 1, 2. Okay. And this one, did he move yet? No. 1, 2, 3, 4. He will be doing an attack on the Guardian with 3. So let's roll that one. And all misses. All misses, which is great. Okay. So now it is the Guardian's... Oh, no, that's it. That's the end of the round. That's the end of the round. Okay. So we're going to recollect all our dice. Get ourselves ready. I think the Guardian. I think the Guardian should go. Or John. John? Oh, if John goes, the Guardian's not gonna make it. Okay, let's go with the Guardian first, and we're gonna do this. We're gonna drop his high explosive rounds at the start of your turn. Discard this card. Each time you attack this turn, you add 1 damage to your roll. We're gonna do that. I feel like I'm gonna need it. And this was a terrible roll, so I'm gonna drop my rank token to re-roll. And just as bad. Lovely. It's just as bad. Okay, so let's go ahead and I'm going to take a shot with my shotgun on that drone that's behind me. And it dodges 1, but it still gets 4 or 3. No, 4 because it's a total of 5, and it's done. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so 5 I'm going to assign this 1 for my sniper to shoot that drone. And I get 5. It gets out. And let's see, does he have line of sight? He does have line of sight of this drone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So he's 10 spaces away. My sniper is 12, but I don't think I'm going to use that. I think I'm just going to move. I'm going to move 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to move another 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to move in there. So that ends my turn for the Guardian, and we're going to roll for reinforcements. There's a 2 and a 4. So we do have a 4, which would be right here, but no 2. And they're going to activate. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll put them right here. Okay, so we have 3 attacks going on here. The first attack will be T-800, possibly to John, but it'll probably be towards the Guardian. And then we have the 2 drones. So at this point, this drone can attack John, this drone will attack the Guardian, and this T-800 will attack the Guardian. So we'll start with the T-800. Okay, so we rolled a special. He avoids or ignores one of these results, so he takes no hit. So the drone on John, John takes 1 hit. And the drone on the Guardian rolled his special. He avoids and ignores 1 result. So he takes no hit. So that's great. Now that ends the Guardian's turn. It is John's turn. Come on, John. Roll some good. There we go. That's not bad. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to rest. I want to heal 1. The second thing I'm going to do is oh, I didn't notice John actually has an extra rank token. Once per round, a character in your zone ignores when you use this ability. Okay, sorry, I missed that. Okay, so John is going to let's just use this pistol. I'm going to use my pistol. I'm attacking, and I'm attacking with 2. I'm going to attack drone. I get 1, and it dodges 1, which means nothing happens. And now I get to make a free attack using the value on another equipped weapon. And that will be the assault rifle. And when attacking, you ignore one of these. It's 2, so this one is gone. Okay. And now I want to assign this value on my assault rifle. We're going to aim for that drone at the top. I get to re-roll 1 result, and I get 3 hits. And that's it. That one's gone. And now I'll do my last attack, or my move. I think I should move because they're not going to activate. So I'm going to move. I'm going to move 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. I'll move here. Hopefully on my next turn I can open that supply crate. Okay, we're rolling for reinforcements. We get 2 5s. So here's where 2 will show up. So here and here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. Because they're going up this way because that's where the closest point is. It's a shorter distance than going around. Okay, so that ends the round. We collect our action dice. And I think let's go with the Guardian first. The Guardian has a lot out there. So if John can make it into there, he'd be revealing that waypoint. Maybe take out a couple guys while he's at it. Or at least 1, open the supply crate. Okay, let's do that. So let's have John go first. And this was a terrible roll. But I think it's enough. Can I interact with a 4? I can, right? So he'll interact with this supply crate. We'll take this off. Draw 2 equipment cards. And we get a grenade and an EMP. And because both the Guardian and John are in the same zone, they can actually use both of these. So I'll give the Guardian the EMP. John can take the grenade. Okay, and now we want to move. Actually, we're going to take a shot. Let's do this one. Pistol on the drone, and he gets hit. So he's gone. And then I want to move 3. 1, 2, and reveal. This is Waypoint Alpha. The base looked like it had seen hard fighting. Plasma burns scorched the walls, heaviest near entry points. Clusters of bones lay among bits of melted metal from dusted machines. Whoever had defended this place, they made Skynet pay dearly in taking it. Could be there wasn't anything left inside, but the opportunity was too good to pass up. It also didn't mean the place was empty either. Everyone had their fingers on their triggers as we headed deeper in. This waypoint represents supplies to be gathered. Flip the enemy entrance Alpha over to the heavy side. Okay, so Alpha gets flipped over to the heavy side, which is up here, which is a 1 and a 2 now. And let me end his 3rd movement, and we can move 1 more, which would be right beside the waypoint. But we need a 4, 5, or 6 face value dice to pick that up, and we're not. So that ends John's round. for John's turn, and now we roll for reinforcements on John's turn. It's 2 1s. That's fantastic. So 2 blues right here, and they activate. So this one's going to move in 1, and this Terminator T800 does not have to move, and they'll both attack the Guardian. I think that's the only way to do it. Okay, so the drone's going to attack first, and no success there, and the T800 gets 1 hit. He gets 1 hit. So Guardian will take 1. Okay. Guardian's turn. Let's make quick work of these guys. Alright, so that's our roll. Let's go ahead. Let's move here. And let's do our 2 adjacent attacks. Hopefully this works. Okay, so I get 4, which means they both die before that T800 can trigger his ability. Okay, and then I'm going to move 1, 2, 3. I don't have enough to get there. That's okay. So I'm going to move 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'll assign my last dice face to rest. And that's it. Now we roll for reinforcements. We get 2 4s. So that means these 2 are over here, and let the party start. Okay, so 1, 2, and that's close enough. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the only one is this T800 has line of sight of John. This drone has obviously line of sight of the Guardian. So we'll have 2 attacks here. So let's start with the drone on the Guardian, and he takes 1 because it was a hit and a Terminator face. Okay, and now for the T800 on John. Okay, so he gets 1. So he takes 1 as well. All right, and that ends the round. Okay. I think John should go. John should go next. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so let's have John go. And here we go. Okay, so we got... okay, I'm going to use 1 to rest and recover. I'm going to use this 6 to interact with the Waypoint, which I pick up. So now John has 2 supply crates. And then I have 3 left. So I'm going to take a shot with my plasma assault rifle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's 3. Hopefully I can get him. And I don't. And in fact, he advances 1. And I'm going to take 1 more shot. Oops, that one rolled right off. Let's re-roll. Okay, this is better. So I got 1, 2, 3, so this one is dead. And that's it. I can't move. Can't do anything. I have a feeling I'll be making a break for here. It depends. Okay, so we roll for reinforcements. It is a 6 and a 3. So it'll be all the way over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Not within range. Now it's the Guardian's turn. All right, Guardian, let's go. Okay, so we have a 5, 4, and a 1 and 1. Okay, let's take a shotgun blast first. Let's see if we can get him on the drone. And it dodges 1, but we got 3, so this one is cleared. And then we're going to move in 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we'll spend... I can't shoot this drone or this Terminator T-800 because the red line around that obstruction is blocking line of sight, and he can't shoot me right now either, but he'll be moving around, so it is what it is. Let's go with moving into cover 1, 2, which automatically reveals this waypoint, which is Waypoint Echo. The mission had been a success so far. We'd found priceless supplies that would be vital in our continuing fight. Although time was burning, grabbing everything we could was too important. We hauled our precious stores outside and hurried to the truck when John pointed at a huge dust cloud on the horizon, heading straight for us. They're coming. This waypoint represents supplies to be gathered. Flip the enemy entrance Echo to the heavy side. So Echo's over here. We're flipping it to the heavy side. We now have our third supply, which I can hopefully pick up on my next round, but I can't, so I'm going to spend this last dice phase to rest, because I think I'm going to need it. Okay, we roll for reinforcements. We get a 1 and a 3. So a 1 and a 3. Okay, so this one's going to move in 1, 2, and it will have line of sight, right? Yes, it will. And this one already has line of sight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Already has line of sight of John. Oh, John's gonna have a little bit of a problem here. We'll move in 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Wow. Good luck, John. Oh, this is not good for John. Okay, so 2 drones first on John. Let's start with drone number 1. He takes a hit. Drone number 2. He misses. The first T-800, he takes a hit. John is down, but I am going to re-roll. And he's still down. So John is down. This is not good. Yeah, this is not good. Okay, and I think what would have happened is because these 2 activated first, 1, 2, 3, 4, this one's moved, they would move in towards him. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I think you're supposed to do it one at a time. So this one would attack first on the Guardian, and the Guardian takes 2. Oh, this is going to be a unhappy ending right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, another one, and that's it. No, wait. Oh, we dodged one. We dodged one, so he doesn't die yet. And then this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's out of range. Okay. Okay. All right. So that ends the round. John is currently down, and the Guardian only has one health or one shot, and that's it. So we're gonna go with the Guardian first. Now in this situation, if John is down, you can still actually roll his dice. You would roll it, but you can only use dice face values of 1. So if I had, all 1s, I could actually use something. The only thing I can't do is heal or rest and help or assist anyone. But basically, if you're talking about movement, you're still slugging along, and you can still fire off a couple shots. So it's not like he's dead. He's kind of like wounded, lying down against a rock, and he's got his gun, and he's just popping off a couple shots as he can. with no special abilities to it. So, but we're gonna go ahead and start with the Guardian. I don't know why. It's probably not a good idea, but there we go. And what we're gonna do is I can interact, gather the supply. I'm going to spend this one to rest, to heal myself 1. And I'm going to spend this value to do a long-range shot. Oh wait, no, can I? 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that still in the zone? Are they still in the zone? Let me see. Oh, so close. You know what? I'm going to use my EMP grenade. So I'm putting it here. You place this grenade token within the dice, within range equal to the dice's value. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to put it right there. Okay. And then I roll the dice. And it was a result of 6. And I use that new value and choose the number of enemies equal to that value, and then they are stunned. So I'm going to choose these ones. These 2 are stunned. So on their activation, they just stand up. They actually won't attack. And I have 1 value left, which I'm going to, you know what? My last hit should have been absorbed by this. Sorry. So I'm actually 1 less. Okay. So my last value, I'm going to do is use my sniper. I'm going to, oh gosh, I'm going to aim for this guy. And I do get him. So he's dead. Okay. Now we're done our turn. Reinforcements. And we get a 4 and a 5. So a 4, and we have no one left in the pool, so they're going to activate 1, 2, 3, 4. This one's going to take the shot. So 3 on the Guardian, and he takes 1. This one's going to move in 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he can actually shoot the Guardian. So he's going to shoot with 3, and he completely misses. These 2 drones will get up, but they don't do anything. And this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that's it. Okay, so now it's John's turn. Now, when you are down, all the endos, they ignore you. So as long as John's down, that's why they're not attacking him. Okay, so, oh, not bad. John rolled 2 1s. So I can move 1 space, or I can take a shot at something. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to try to pop off a few shots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sure. Let's do 1 rifle attack on this far drone. And it dodges 1, and I get to ignore 1, so it doesn't do anything. I will use my last one to try another shot on that drone, because I don't want it to come in, and that one's more of a success. So this one's gone, and that's it. We roll for reinforcements. Even though John is down, you still roll for reinforcements. And we get a 1 and a... Sorry, that's not reinforcements. This is reinforcements. We get a 5 and a 4. Lucky me. A 5 and a 4. So 4 is over here. And a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that's it. Okay, that ends the round. We're not looking too good here. So the objective is to get back to the truck. And all characters have to be in the truck. So this has now become a rescue mission. So we have to go in and we gotta try to help John. Let's try to get him up. Okay, this is much better. Okay, so let's try to make it in there. Oh, sorry, I used my EMP, so I have to discard that. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, let's go. Let's go with moving 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. we're going to go ahead and let's, oh gosh, what am I going to do? 1, 2. Let's assign this one. Attack up to 2 enemies. We'll attack the 2 drones if we can. Okay, so we ignore, no, we don't ignore. When defending, ignore. Oh, man. So they both dodged, which means that nothing happened. And okay, we're moving 2, and we're gonna use my rest, my special rest, to get John up, and I remove 2 wounds for him. So hopefully he'll have a fighting chance. And that's it. We are so done for. We are so done for. Okay. All right, so we roll for reinforcements, but I don't have any more in the pool, so it doesn't really matter. And now all the drones will take their attack on the Guardian. So first drone, miss. Second drone, another miss. Third drone, oh, 2 hits. Wait, okay, so we can use John's special ability. Once per round, a character in your zone ignores 1 wound, but doesn't matter, he took 2. No, that's okay. Well, it doesn't really matter. I think he's dead. So, Guardian's down. Okay, so this T-800 is going to take a shot at John. It wasn't meant to be. All 3. Once per round, a character in your zone ignores 1 wound. So let's ignore this wound. We're going to flip this over. It's been used. So John takes 2. This one's going to move in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Doesn't have range. 1, 2, 3, 4. Does not have range. Okay. 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 We actually still have a chance. We're not dead yet. John's turn. We're going to first do a rest. Bring the Guardian up. Remove 1 wound. And we have quite a few options here. Let's do I have line of sight of that one? Yes, I do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, I do. Okay, so I'm going to spend this one to do my assault rifle, aiming for that 1 drone. I get to re-roll 1 result, and I have 3 hits. So this one is dead, thank goodness. Okay, and now I'm gonna move. I'm moving 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm gonna spend this one. I can't rest because I healed him, so I could technically interact, and I think I will. I'll interact. I draw 2 equipment cards from that supply crate. They're both grenades. I really don't need them, so I'm gonna discard that. That ends the round. We roll for reinforcements. We get a 4 and a 2. So a 2 and a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Uh-oh. 1, 2. Well, he doesn't actually have to move. So he's aiming at the Guardian. Oh, no. And then this one's going to move 1, 2, 3, 4. He doesn't have line of sight either. So it's just 1 attack from that Terminator to the Guardian. The Guardian's down again. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay, that ends the round. Now, if the Guardian goes, all those drones are going for him. So it's got to be John. John's going to have to go back. I don't know why he ran, but John's going to have to go back. Here we go. Oh, gosh. Each enemy takes 1 wound, then discards this card. Yeah, but these ones, you know, it's only 1 wound. It doesn't do anything. That grenade's useless against those machines. All right, let's help him out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I move 1 more. I rest to help him up, so he's back on his feet. And the last one, I think I'll just take a shot, and I'll shoot. I have line of sight of that T800. Come on. So he moves in 1, and that's it. Okay. So we roll for reinforcements. We get a 4 and a 6. There is no, oh, there is a 6 right here. Sorry, 4, which would be over here, and a 6, which would be here. So as you can see, this is not a game where you should expect to just mow down the opponent. You really have to focus on your objectives as quickly as possible and hope that you have good rolls for your attacks. Maybe that's where, in terms of the separation, your action dice rolls, there's really no bad roll. But with attacking, yes, there can be bad rolls. So, okay, so he's in line of sight of the Guardian. That's fine. This drone is going to have to move back, but we'll do this one first. So he's going to attack the Guardian with 3 dice, and he dodges 1, so that's great. The next thing will be this guy. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Out of range. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, not in range. Okay. My goodness, the Guardian gets to go. This is going to be interesting. All right. What can we do? We can't do a lot here. First, we're going to do the attack on those drones again. I'm rolling 3 dice. Hopefully better luck this time. And same problem. They dodge 1, so nothing happens. That's terrible. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to move 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they're all 5 away, so I'm going to use my sniper rifle, take a shot. First one, I'm going to take a shoot on, I'm going to shoot the T800 on the far side. Come on. So he can't move in 1, but he'll move in here. And then I'm going to take another shot on the same guy. This is ridiculous. Okay, so he does move in 1, but there's nowhere for him to move, and I get an extra hit. So it's 3, so he's dead anyways. All right, and that's it. That ends the turn. We roll for reinforcements. We get a 4 and a 6. So we'll get the 4, and I'm out of enemies in my red pool. So all 3 drones here are attacking John. This one's going to move in, so is that one, so is that one. So let's start with John first. First drone, miss. Second drone, hit, and he's down. Third drone's going to move in, 1, 2, 3, and do his attack on the Guardian. And Guardian dodges 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Range on the Guardian with 3. Oh, a total miss on that one. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's it. End of the round. Let's reclaim our dice. Okay, so Guardian's going to go first. This is getting pretty intense. Oh, terrible rolls. What am I talking about? There's no bad rolls. Let's move in 2. 1, 2. Let's bring him back up with 1. Let's shoot this with 3. And he damages John because I rolled, and he advances 1. And let's put this last one. I can't attack anything with my sniper because it's a minimum range of 5. So I will rest and I'll heal 1. Okay. Roll for reinforcements doesn't matter because there are no additional red enemies in the pool. So this drone's going to attack the Guardian, rolls 2. He dodges 1. The Terminator is going to shoot John for 3. And John's down. This drone, 1. He can't move in because of that. So he'll move here. He's going to attack the Guardian with 2. Total miss. 1, 2, 3. Attack. And that's a hit. And 1, 2, 3. Ranged on the Guardian. And that's another hit. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Somehow we're surviving. It's John's turn. John's down. And he can only use 1s, and I have 1. All right. Well, let's do an attack of 3, and let's just aim for the one of those endos. Oh, beautiful. So it takes this one out. Okay. That's the end. Roll for reinforcements. We get a 2 and a 4. There's a 2. And now they move. So we'll move this one first. 1. Well, actually, he doesn't. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, he's doing an attack on the Guardian. Sorry, that was interference on the roll. And that's 1. Okay, Guardian's dead. Or down. Okay, so unfortunately, we got the supplies, but we couldn't make it back into the truck. Once all your characters are down, the mission is a failure. So, sorry guys, I've played this mission before and I've actually done better, but I do remember the very first time I played this, I may not have been focused in terms of the objectives, trying to manage the number of endos that were on the board, and it's a fine balance. You really have to keep moving, and clearly once you're unable to, they come in and they can swarm you very quickly. So in terms of theme, I think the theme comes through very well in this game. You have that tension of an ongoing threat, the endos making their way in, they are spawning, and the spawn, maybe 20% of the time or 10% of the time I've rolled where nobody spawns, and that actually is a sigh of relief. You actually hold your breath as you're rolling those dice, hoping that nobody spawns. And if you notice, by the time everything turns to the heavy side, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Every dice roll, someone's going to spawn. So that's what makes it very challenging. It also depends on which way tokens you discover first and which order you get them in. So not my best playthrough, but hopefully it gives you an idea of what the game is like. I like the idea of rolling action dice and assigning it to it. You have multiple choices. You can shoot, you can move, you can try to interact, you can assist. Depending on the values that you roll could change. Maybe you thought you were going to do something, but when you rolled the dice, you end up doing something completely different. And that happened a few times during the course of this game. And you do want to balance. Do I want to get to the supply crate? Maybe I spent too much time finding additional weapons, but finding those weapons could help you out, especially with the sniper gun. I mean, long range, 4 dice for attack rolls could be really beneficial. keeping track of enemy damage or the lack of makes it really simple. They either get killed or they don't. It's very easy to keep track of. You don't have tokens all over the board managing damage to the enemies. You're able to continue, even though you're down, you can still roll your dice and still help out a little bit. Not a lot, but you can still help out. It's not like you're eliminated. But the theme comes through strong. The relentless machines coming towards you, just hammering down. You do feel it. I like the storyline in the mission book. It sets the tone for the mission, and as you discover waypoints, it continues that story, and you really feel like you're part of this resistance trying to get those objectives and somehow stay alive. So I really like that about this game. I don't like the fact that it takes a bit more time than usual to set things up, especially with all these tokens that you have to put on the board, and there's a little bit more involved with getting the cards set up and putting the bases on all the enemies, just so that you know whose enemies are you moving during that enemy activation phase. But I like the way that the enemies spawn. I like that you sort of have your own pool for the character, and it spawns, and when it's your turn, you activate only those ones, not all of them activate. I imagine if you sort of kept it at a level playing field, that they weren't color coded and you activate every single T800 or HK8 drone, that's it. There's no way you'd win. So there's a bit of balance there, and therefore it scales well. So if you add a third player or a fourth player, they would also be on the board, but only those particular colors would activate on that player's turn. But it can be quite overwhelming. There can be quite a bit on the board. So if I was successful, all I had to do was get these two guys, not all I had to do, but what I had to do was get these two guys back into the truck, and then the mission would be a success. Unfortunately, it didn't happen, but if it was a success and I was playing campaign, what would happen was any of the cards that I've gained, I would keep to the next mission. Some missions allow you to additional rank tokens, so that could be helpful for future missions where you really need to re-roll. If it would be really helpful in those situations. So I like how the campaign links everything together, and the story flows. Each campaign, you can play skirmish as well. There's no harm in playing skirmish, and there are specific skirmish setup rules so that you're not at a disadvantage. So if you played the 7th mission, you would be given some additional powerful weapons because the mission is difficult, and without going through the campaign, you would never have those more powerful weapons. So I like that you can do them as skirmish, but at the same time, I think this is much better played as a campaign. It can be a lengthy campaign depending on obviously the player count and how quickly you're moving through things. And obviously, if you're having a good day, you're having good rolls, you're not spawning too many endos on the board, then you can get through the map. I think in this situation, compared to my other gameplays, my spawn rolls were not in my favor today. So, but there you go. That is Terminator Genisys, Rise of the Resistance, the board game. I think it is a really good Terminator-themed dungeon crawler, sort of exploration, and I like how the waypoints are randomized. So I think each mission is maybe 4 or 5 waypoints. Maybe 3 or 4 of them are actually flipped over and you don't know what they are, and you randomize them. So you've got a good fair bit of replay factor in this, and obviously depending on the character you choose, they really are unique. The characters do have unique abilities. They're not just the same character with 1 or 2 different abilities. So it really depends on who you choose. So your experience could be different. My previous gameplays were with Kyle and the Guardian, but this is actually my first time using John, and now I'm regretting it. But I don't even think I made the most out of his abilities. So I hope you enjoyed the game. I hope I think it's still available on the gaming market. Your local game store may have it. I actually recommend it. I actually like this a lot, and I think it's a lot of fun. So thanks for watching, and until next time, stay bored.